Penn State fans, Max Ralph out here in Indianapolis for PennLive. Got tons of Penn State updates coming to you this week from the NFL Scouting Combine today. Big day of NFL head coaches and GMs talking to media. A lot of Penn State related updates that I've got for you, but it's going to be a big week. Of course, the 5 guys who we know are out here from the Nittany Lions will speak later this week. They'll also test, of course, but today, of course, started off with a bang, 10 a.m. First guy out there for an interview, Joe Schoen from the New York Giants. And of course, what is the first question he's asked? It's about Saquon Barkley. Again, said, wish him nothing but the best. You know, we were at a different place in our build as far as the way they want to develop their roster. But, you know, I'm not sure how you don't find space for a guy like Saquon, who, of course, went on to be the Offensive Player of the Year, but that was a good one. We talked to, Titans brass, both head coach Brian Callahan and new GM Mike Borgonzi, and interesting, there was a lot of talk. They of course hold the #1 overall pick. A lot of talk about adding a quarterback to the room, which of course has Will Levis, former Penn State, former Kentucky quarterback. He's struggled, and they were both pretty open about the fact that they're probably going to add a quarterback, at least for some competition. They said Levis will compete, but look, end of the day, things don't look great for the former Nittany Lion. He's going to have his work cut out for him to keep that job. And, if they add somebody at #1 overall, of course, they're not tipping their hand as to what they're doing. It'll be really interesting. And at #1 overall, some discussion about Abdul Carter. The defensive end from Penn State this year, Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, 23 tackles for loss. Abdul is obviously an elite athlete. He's not testing at the Combine this week. I don't think that's going to affect teams' opinions of him very much. A lot of talk for him from the Titans at #1 overall, the Browns at #3, and the Patriots at #2. I might have gotten that order mixed up. The Browns could be #2, but don't quote me on it. However, all 3 of those teams are interested. The Browns, the thing is, their star defensive end, Myles Garrett, wants a trade. He wants out. GM Andrew Berry doesn't want to let him get out. He doesn't want to trade him. He was adamant about that today. If somehow Garrett is traded, Abdul Carter could fall into their lap there if the Titans don't take him. It's an interesting one. He called Abdul a rare athlete with outstanding speed and was really impressed by his ability to rush the passer and play off the ball. That is something that Abdul has done and has made his living on. And so, yeah, super interesting there. We'll hear more from the Patriots tomorrow on Wednesday. Couple of updates for Penn State veterans in the NFL. Chris Godwin coming off of that, brutal injury, second time in his career. He's had a career, or a season-ending injury rather. And before it this season, he was one of the top receivers in the league. Was just crushing it week in and week out. He's a free agent. Buccaneers GM Jason Light said, he means so much to this organization. We really want to have him back. Todd Bowles said similar stuff. Clear they love him. Don't want to let him get to true free agency. They'd love to extend him before it starts. We'll see how it goes. Similar for former Penn State tight end Mike Gesicki and the Bengals. They thought he was a great fit with Joe Burrow and those 2 really good pass catchers, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but they've got their priorities in trying to lock those 2 guys up right now, and we'll see how it goes with Gesicki. But on the flip side is if they can't hold on to Gesicki, then things kind of open up. Maybe there's some interest in Tyler Warren in the draft. Of course, Warren is getting some late first-round grades. I'd be shocked if he fell to the second at this point. I think this week he's really going to test well in the Combine. He's just a great athlete. We've all seen it so much in Happy Valley. But Warren, could he go to the Bengals? We also talked to the Broncos, who have a big need at tight end. The Eagles, at the end of the first round, Dallas Goedert's still around, but to back him up, who knows? Nick Sirianni said they don't necessarily need every guy in the room to be able to do everything, but Tyler Warren is one of those guys who kind of can. He's a great prospect. And some people have talked about the Chiefs and backing up, or rather being a successor to Travis Kelce. Doesn't look like Kelce's done yet. Chiefs GM Brett Veach said Kelce, the last time they talked to him, said he was fired up to come back next year. So it seems pretty unlikely Warren could be a Kansas City Chief by the end of April, but never say never. I think that's all the NFL-related updates I've got for you from here at the Combine in Indianapolis. It's going to be a fun week. We're only just getting started. Tons of personnel. Make sure you're following us on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram. We're going to have tons, especially our Steelers guy, Nick Farabaugh. Yeah, that's me, Max Ralph, PennLive, checking in from Indy.